Hello everyone, this is Tom Fox. I'm the Compliance Evangelist, and I'd like to welcome you to the August edition of my 1 month to a more effective compliance program series that I'm running throughout 2017. This month will be 1 month to more effective continuous improvement. My sponsor this month is Affiliated Monitors. Founded in 2004, Affiliated Monitors provides professional, independent integrity monitoring and ethics and compliance assessments nationally and internationally and across all industries. With its knowledge of effective ethics and compliance programs and cultures, Affiliated Monitors is respected for its work as the corporate monitor on matters ranging from multinational corporations to small and mid-sized companies, and even individuals. Having served in over 500 monitorships, no one has more experience as an independent monitor than the team at Affiliated Monitors. For more information on how an independent monitor can help improve your company's ethics and compliance program, I would urge you to visit Affiliated Monitors at www.affiliatedmonitors.com. As I indicated, this month we're going to look at 1 month to more effective continuous improvement. We're going to consider auditing and monitoring, the different types of auditing that you can do, from third-party auditing, supply chain, data risk auditing, culture auditing against fraud. We're going to talk about control testing. We're going to look at continuous improvement through the use of big data. We're going to look at measuring effectiveness, risk-based monitoring, email sweeps as monitoring, and listening as continuous monitoring. I think you're going to find it a fascinating month, and I'm sure at the end of the month you will have picked up multiple lessons on what you can do to improve your compliance program around continuous improvement. This is Tom Fox. Thank you very much for joining me on this episode, and I hope you'll join me for the entire month. This 2017 1 month to a better compliance program podcast series is a part of the Compliance Podcast Network. Day 18, email sweeps for continuous improvement. The 2012 FCPA guidance specifies a good compliance program should constantly evolve. A company's business changes over time, as do the environments in which it operates, the nature of its customers, and the laws that govern its action, and the standards of the industry. In addition, compliance programs that do not exist just on paper, but are followed in practice, will inevitably uncover compliance weaknesses and require enhancements. Consequently, both the DOJ and SEC evaluate whether companies regularly review and improve their compliance programs and do not allow them to become stale. Continuous improvement requires that not only you audit, but also monitor whether your employees are staying in compliance with your compliance program. In addition to the language set out in the FCPA guidance, 2 of the 7 compliance elements in the U.S. sentencing guidelines call for companies to monitor, audit, and respond quickly to allegations of misconduct. These 3 activities are key components. Enforcement officials look for when determining whether companies maintain adequate oversight of their compliance programs. One tool that is extremely useful in this continuous improvement cycle, yet is often misunderstood or misused, is ongoing monitoring. This can come from the confusion between auditing and monitoring. Obviously, monitoring is a commitment to reviewing and detecting compliance variances in real time, then reacting quickly to remediate them. A primary goal of monitoring is to identify and address gaps in your compliance program on a regular, consistent basis. We've talked about auditing at length during this podcast series of 1 month to more effective continuous improvement, but recall it's a more limited review that targets a specific business component, region, or market sector during a particular time frame in order to uncover or evaluate certain risks, particularly seen in financial records. However, you should not assume that because your company conducts audits, it's effectively monitoring. A robust program should include both. Your company should establish a regular monitoring program to spot issues and address them. Many compliance practitioners will understand you should be checking in routinely with local finance departments in your foreign office to ask if they've noticed any recent accounting irregularities Regional directors should be required to keep tabs on potential improper activity in countries in which they manage. These ongoing efforts can certainly demonstrate some level of commitment to continuous improvement in your compliance program. Yet ongoing monitoring is not limited to the financial component of compliance. Another approach is to review emails as a preventative and detective program through the technique of email sweeps. The concept is straightforward. At regular intervals, you can sweep through your company's email database for identified keywords that can be flagged for further investigation if required. The beauty of this approach is that it does not require an extensive e-discovery software tool or software license purchase. It can be accomplished generally in a couple of days or less. Also, it is not limited to anti-corruption compliance, but any risk factors you've identified for your company. The objective of this approach is to find the smoke, which may be the evidence of a compliance breakdown and therefore related compliance fire, by sweeping through emails to uncover those that contain real issues. From this starting point, you can assess and prioritize by checking and verifying that there are issues worth investigating. From here, you can identify the issues you want to investigate first. Further, and if warranted, you can invoke your full investigation protocol with all the requisite protections and securities. In addition to the cost effectiveness of this approach, in that you are only paying for the services when you need them and as they are delivered, this certainly satisfies the Tom Fox compliance evangelist mantra of document, 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 because everything you've done can be verified and audited. Finally, as the regulators continue to evolve in their understandings and appreciation of a best practices compliance program, you will want to evolve your compliance program to a new level of detection that could well allow you to have a more robust prevent mode. When your compliance program has a strong prevent mode, it can be the most effective to stave off any issues from becoming full FCPA violations. Continuous improvement through continuous monitoring will help you to keep your compliance program abreast of any changes in your business models, compliance risks, and allow growth and based upon new and updated best practices specified by the regulators. A compliance program is a continuously evolving organism, just as your company is continually improving itself through its improvement of business processes. The FCPA guidance has made clear of this, as well as the Department of Justice's 2017 evaluation of corporate compliance programs. So what are today's 3 key takeaways? Well, let's start with number 1 of ongoing monitoring is not limited to financial monitoring, but a holistic approach that would look at much other indicia of corruption. And this is where the email sweep is key. This is a different form of ongoing monitoring, which allows you to take a look at what people are saying to see if there's anything there that needs further exploration or investigation. This is not a in the deep weeds or taking a deep dive investigation. It's really there to see if there are any indicia that you need to investigate going forward, which leads to point number 2. Where there's smoke, there's most usually fire. Now, occasionally you can have some indicia which would not be a fire. For instance, I once saw an email from a company employee in China that, when translated, had some very negative language in it around bribery and corruption. Nevertheless, when we took a deep dive into it, we decided it was really just a translation issue and that there really was no smoke there. But that was a case where we looked very diligently after the email sweep came through. And finally, never forget that continuous improvement can be achieved in a variety of efficient, cost-effective ways. Email sweeps can be certainly more cost-effective for you than other techniques. You can use it on a monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, annual basis. There are companies that provide these services, and you can really utilize them in a couple of days. It's also something you can do if you have the in-house resources. So it can be an effective way for you to satisfy the requirements for continuous improvement through ongoing monitoring. This is Tom Fox. Thank you very much for joining me for day 18 of 1 month to more effective continuous improvement, and I hope you'll join me tomorrow for day 19. This is Tom Fox again. I'd like to thank you for listening to this episode of 1 month to more effective continuous improvement in your compliance program. If you have listened to this podcast on iTunes, please rate this podcast. It was a help in our rankings, and also get the word out about the only daily podcast to help you improve your compliance program. If you have any questions, you can email me at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. This is Tom Fox. I'm the Compliance Evangelist, and you've been listening to 1 month of more effective continuous improvement from the Compliance Podcast Network.